Hey there. So I think it's been a bit since I've done a tapping video, but I wanted to share. I always find these are great to do when personally I have things going on, and it's just been a weird week. And I know a number of people that I've talked to, and I do follow astrology. I never used to, but when I started doing this work, I started noticing patterns with clients. Like on a particular week, everyone seemed to have sort of the same thing going on. So I remember calling a friend of mine who did astrology. She's like, oh yeah, this. So I do follow it, and someone I follow now was talking about, if you notice there's a lot of, I'm going to call it mishigosh around, like upsets, things that aren't really working out going on, and you might hear a cat meow because she's up and moving and will want to get out and she can't. So let me go crack this so she can do that, so we don't have to be distracted by her mishigosh. So what I noticed is it's just been a lot of upsets and a lot of upheavals this week. I mean, I won't go into all of them, but it's been, I'm trying to think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Upsets with other humans, things that have gone on that it was like came out of left field, and it was like, what the hell is happening here? So I would literally call it a series of unfortunate events. And my husband and I were talking about this because we just drove back from Colorado. We were there for the night, and it was just like, what is going on here? And in the astrology world, they're talking about a lot of upsets and things that can happen, things surfacing if you're finding that you're surrounded by a lot of things that are going on that seem like they're very upsetting or in an upheaval. They'll talk about, and I'm not skilled enough in astrology to talk remotely intelligently about it, but I listen to that and I go, oh God, it makes sense, because that's, and I listen to it often after the fact. So I know it's not a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what I wanted to tap, and what I realize, I have gone through such a myriad of emotions. My go-to is anger. My go-to is to be pissed off, because that's safe for me. It's easier. There's safety for me in being angry and being upset. There's more power in it for me. So I was trained, highly skilled, to go to anger first. And what for me is wired up is there's always major hurt often underneath my anger. That I'm more, I feel sort of too vulnerable to go to, but I've been really letting myself sit today with sadness and anger. Sadness and hurt and disappointment. So for you, if you're finding in your life there's anything going on that's like, whoa, what the hell is happening here? If there's upsets with a lot of people, if you're feeling sad or hurt or disappointed, my encouragement is to, like, whatever your go-to emotion is, kind of go, well, if I had to guess, what's the emotions that are below this emotion? Because a lot of us, some of us go to hurt first or sadness, and actually we don't let ourselves go to anger, particularly more if you're women. I'm kind of wired the other way, where, anger is just so easy for me to go to. I saw it displayed so much. So let's tap karate chop. Even though I don't know what the hell is going on here, but it sure feels like a series of unfortunate events. And that's so sad for me. I choose to acknowledge my truth right now. Even though I have a lot of upsets, a lot of emotions churning, and maybe I can't figure them all out. What if that's okay? I choose to acknowledge my confusion now. even though I've been in the midst of a series of unfortunate events, and it's got my emotions churning. What if I could make that okay? And check in first. Am I judging myself for this? I deeply and profoundly accept myself now. Go to the eyebrow. This series of unfortunate events. There's a lot of upheaval going on in my life right now. What the hell is happening here? It seems like one thing after the other. And what if I'm beating myself up? Or punishing myself? Possibly without realizing it. What am I doing to attract all of this? See, if I have this series of unfortunate events, hi, Kirsty, must be my fault. I must be attracting all of this. And there it is. The epic judgment of self, where I double down on myself without even realizing it, maybe, that I'm making this my fault. I must be attracting this somehow. I must not be vibrating correctly. Oh God, stick a fork in me. I am so done with this. Pounding myself to dust. 'Cause somehow I attracted all of this. What if life just has its ebbs and flows? What if right now I'm in a series in my life where there's a lot of upheaval, a lot of things going on that are totally getting my attention? And what if, first and foremost, this is to get my attention, to stop judging myself so much, to stop making myself wrong all the time, for everything that happens in my life? What if shit really does just happen? And what if all of this, instead of more life lessons, more work to be done, what if this is about an opportunity to find some more self-acceptance and self-love while learning to release self-judgment and self-blame? What if that's why sometimes in my life I seem to experience and have this backlog of unfortunate events. And I start to catch myself blaming myself, making myself wrong for this. And what if it could be possible? This is so in my face like this. Because this is the way that God, the divine, the universe is using to get my attention. Not because I'm doing one damn thing wrong, but to awaken me to some more self-kindness, self-care, self-acceptance, and ultimately, self-love. And what if I can wake up even just 1% through this series of unfortunate events to accept myself more, judge myself less, care for myself more, blame myself less, because this force of love loves me so much. I'm meant to be shown how to love me more through it all. Take a breath. I had no idea it was going to come out of me. Kirsty, I am on a train coming back from a gig and literally following along. Yes, I look crazy, but the internet flack, internet back, Kirsty, I'm so glad. I'm glad you're on a train. Hey, Patty. Hey, Kirsty. Literally, I was driving back from Colorado. I feel it right now in me. I'm like, again, I lead with anger because that's a safer emotion for me. And I'm like, God, I just feel such sadness about all the things that have happened over this past week. And I'm not talking like little things, like big, in my face, one thing after the other. And typically in the culture that we live in and in my life and my training, growing up in the religion that I did, it's all about, and then throw in law of attraction. Well, you attracted this, it's your fault. You must not be aligned right. You must be doing it wrong. It's like, good God, Gertie. The epic judgment of self is just so hideously ridiculous and so promoted in our culture and even in the personal development world. And think about that, like the toxic positivity and spiritual bypass and just think happy thoughts and it's going to be okay. And sometimes you're just in the thick of a shit show. And what if in the thick of that shit show, instead of like, I've got to try and think positive, I've got to elevate myself here, I've got to try and find the silver lining here. What if the truth is we're meant to just allow ourselves to be in the midst of the shit show and practice some self-acceptance and self-love? Imagine that. Kirsty, love you so much. Patty, sending you so much love. So glad you were here with me live and hope you found this helpful. I know I did, and I know I freaking needed it. So thanks for sharing this with me. Take good care. Bye for now.